Good morning, children. In the previous class, I have taken the first 5 stanzas of the poem, and today I'll take the rest of the poem. And before that, I want to tell you something about the syllabus, revised syllabus. Okay, the syllabus that we got in the beginning of the year was different. That means only one poem and one short story was excluded. That is, I Know Why the Caged Birds Sing and The Blue Beat, the story Blue Beat. But according to the revised syllabus that we got very recently, 2 poems and 2 short stories, and then Act 5 from Merchant of Venice are excluded. Okay, so I hope you will be happy. You have only very little portion to study, and that is okay. Keep this in mind. That is, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and then Abu Ben Adam from poems. These 2 poems, and from short story, The Blue Beat and All Summer in a Day. So 4 lessons like that. And from Merchant of Venice, Act 5. So these portions are excluded from the syllabus. Okay. So the actually the syllabus was made as per to the syllabus that we got from the council in the beginning of the year. But now for these portions are excluded. Okay, so keep that in mind. Even though we have learned Abu Ben Adam and All Summer in a Day, you can exclude that. Even when you do the project, you can exclude these poems and short stories. Okay, so now coming back to our lesson, let me ask 1 or 2 questions to check whether you remember. Why did the spectators gather round the field? Okay, and what were they excited about? So the spectators gathered around the field to witness the last event in the Special Olympics. And what was the last event? The last event was the 100 meters race. And who is referred to as young men and women? Okay, sorry, in the poem it is young women and men. Young women and men. Who were they? Young women and men referred to the participants who had come there to take part in the Special Olympics. Okay, so when we say Special Olympics, you know that this is conducted for the people who are differently abled. So all the participants who came there had one disability or another. Okay, so and then what was the mood of the spectators? So the spectators were very jubilant and they were all excited about the last event. And before that, they were cheering the participants, and now they're very excitedly waiting for the last event to take place. And now, how was the race started? How was the race started? Okay, so all the participants of the running race, the 100 meters race, they lined up at the starting point, and there was the signal, and the pistol shot was fired. And then what happened? All these participants started their race. How many participants were there for this last event? There were 9 participants. Okay. And then as the race began, what happened, or who had the bad luck? As the race started, the youngest of the athletes had a bad luck. And what happened to him? Okay, he stumbled. See, you can see there in the poem itself, he stumbled, staggered, and then finally fell on the track. And now he gave out a cry. And why did he give out a cry? He was so disappointed when he realized that his dreams were shattered. The dream of getting or dream of winning a gold medal in the Special Olympics are shattered. So that's why he gave out a cry. Now, up to this, we have taken. Okay, I have taken up to yes, the first page, that is page number 37. 5 stanzas. I'll read the last stanza. Last stanza means the stanza in that page, the last stanza in that page. Okay. He gave out a cry of frustration and anguish. His dreams and his efforts dashed in the dirt. But as sure as I'm standing here telling the story, now it's a strange one, but here's what occurred. So from this, we understand that the narrator had witnessed this Special Olympics, and he was standing there witnessing all this. So as sure as that, this is what had happened. And so we'll see what strange thing happened. Okay. The 8 other athletes stopped in their tracks. The ones who had trained for so long to compete, one by one, they turned round and came back to help him and lifted the lad to his feet. Okay, so this was the strange thing that happened. Okay, the 8 other athletes stopped in their tracks. See, we all have watched the running race. Okay, so if something happens to one of the athletes, the other athletes usually they run to the finishing point. This is what usually happens. Nobody stops for the athlete who had fallen. But here, what happened? The 8 other athletes stopped in their tracks. So all the 8 athletes stopped in their tracks. The ones who had trained for so long to compete. So, see, these, when we tell about these athletes had been training for months and years to take part in this Special Olympics. Okay, so the ones who had trained for so long to compete, so now they forgot about that competitive spirit when one of them fell down or fell on the track. The ones who had trained for so long to compete, one by one they turned round. So what happened here? They turned round. That's why it is told this is a strange thing. Usually it never happens, but this is what had happened. That's why the narrator tells us, the poet tells us, that this was a strange thing. One by one they turned round. So all the 8 contestants, they turned round and came back to help him. So see, the the 8 contestants, they turned round and walked back to the boy who had fallen down and lifted the lad to his feet. And what did they do? They just lifted the boy. Lad means here the boy, and lifted the boy to his feet, and they helped him to stand on his feet, or they lifted him to his feet. So this was the strange thing happened. So what was the strange thing happened? After the boy had fallen on the track, what was the strange thing happened? So, so when the when one of the contestants could not run, and when he stumbled and staggered and fell on the track, the remaining 8 contestants, they stopped the race. Actually, what is expected from them? They are expected to continue their race, but that is not what had happened here. That's why it is told it's a strange thing. So they did not continue the race. Okay, they all turned round and came back to the fallen athlete and lifted him to his feet. Okay, this was the strange and wonderful thing that had happened. The next stanza. Then all 9 runners joined hands and continued the 100 meters, reduced to a walk, and the banner above that said Special Olympics could not have been nearer the mark. Okay, so what is the or what happened next? Okay, then all 9 runners, so including the boy who had fallen down. Okay, so all 9 runners, they joined their hands together and continued the 100 meters, reduced to a walk. So what did they do now? They just joined their hands and walked to the finishing point, or the finishing line. So this was not expected. Okay, so why did the other runners, the 8 contestants, stop the race? They were empathetic towards the boy who had fallen down. You know, empathy. What is that empathy? You imagine yourself in that place. Okay, viewing things on through that person. That means feeling that if I were in that place, all the 8 contestants, they thought like that. If I were in that place, what would have happened to me? Okay, so they felt empathy towards that particular participant, and that's why they stopped their race, and they walked to the boy and lifted him to his feet, and they all joined hands and they walked to the finishing line. So the 100 meters race was reduced to a walk, and the banner above that said Special Olympics. So this action shows that, see, the participants, they had come from many or different countries, but there was no animosity, there was no anger between the participants. Okay, so that's why they joined hands and walked to the finishing line, and the banner above that said Special Olympics could not have been nearer the mark. So the Special Olympics proved to be true to its words. So the words Special Olympics. Okay. So all of these boys or all of the participants displayed the true spirit of sportsmanship. So that's why it is said the banner above that said Special Olympics could not have been nearer the mark. So that proved true to its words. Now the next answer. That's how the race ended. 9 gold medals. They came to the finish line holding hands still, and the banner above and 9 smiling faces said more than these words ever will. Said more than these words ever will. So this is the last part. Okay. So what had happened? This is how the race ended. Okay. So the race ended as each participant being awarded a gold medal. That's how the race ended. 9 gold medals. So all 9 participants won gold medal. Won a gold medal. They came to the finish line holding hands still. So they came to the finishing line holding hands, and the banner above and 9 smiling faces said more than these words ever will. Okay. So all were awarded a gold medal for their rare act of empathy. Okay. So this their act of empathy proclaimed more than what words would ever tell. Okay. So the poem ends on a special note that the true victory lies in being helpful and cooperative, and thus the Special Olympics became a really special one. And we'll see, okay, the theme of the poem. Okay. So we have discussed in the beginning of the poem, or before I began, that is, one is empathy, showing empathy towards another person, and second one is the true spirit of sportsmanship. Okay. So nowadays we know that this sports events are highly competitive, and they only aim to win at any cost. Okay. So we have to, or you have to uphold the tradition of true sportsmanship. That is, what is that? Which is being helpful and cooperative. So let me ask one or two questions. What strange thing happened? How did the race end? And what is the theme of the poem? So these are the last two questions from the part I taught today. Please write these questions. That means I have prepared 5 questions for this poem. Okay, the first one is, why did the spectators gather round the field? And who is referred to as young, women and men? Second question, which final event was talked about in the poem? What was the mood of the spectators? Third one, how was the race started? Who had the bad luck? What were his dreams? That is a third question. 4, what strange thing happened? How did the race end? 5, what is the theme of the poem? And how does the poet convey this theme through this poem? Okay, children, please go through the poem. Before this, I had sent the story all summer in a day, but recently only we got the revised syllabus. Okay, you can exclude that. Okay, you can see this visual. 9 participants are there at the starting point, all ready to start the race. See, the pistol shot is fired and they start running. See, one of the contestants just staggered and fell down on the track. So the boy who fell down, he gave out a cry, and see what happened next. They all came back, lifted him up, and they are just walking to the finishing line. See, all of them were awarded a gold medal each, and the spectators are giving them a standing ovation. Okay, so go through the poem thoroughly and learn this. Okay, it's a very beautiful poem and easy to study also. Okay, children, we'll meet in the next class.